Today we are going to be learning about lesson 6.4, surface area of pyramids. By the end of the video, you should be able to draw the net of pyramids, write the formula for square pyramids, find the surface area of square pyramids, and find the surface area of a triangular pyramid as well. Right, so you want to think to yourself here, are the sides of a pyramid always triangles? So when I look at the sides of different pyramids, are they always triangles? Explain. And is the base of a pyramid always a triangle? Explain. Go ahead and talk with your table about these two questions. So when I look at some examples here, my bases in these examples are a square, a triangle, and a hexagon. So when I look at the bases, no, the base is not always a triangle here. Okay, so again, the base is not always a triangle. That would be a no. It could be any shape. But what about the sides? So when I look here at my different sides, I have a triangle, a triangle, a triangle, and then that back one's also a triangle. What about on this one? The front side is a triangle. The back side is a triangle, and so is the other side. And we have all these triangles. They are always going to be triangles because it connects two corners up to the tippy point of the pyramid. So they will always be triangles. So the answer for this one would be yes. So let's go ahead and warm up our brains by finding the area of these two triangles. We'll pause the video while you work. And here are the correct answers for this warm-up. Remember that you do need to start with the formula, your substitute, your solve, and your label. As you can see, the formula for triangles is area equals base times height divided by 2. You are going to use that formula quite a bit today, so you want to make sure that you are writing that formula every time. Okay. So we have next drawing the net of a square pyramid. Go ahead and try to draw that net. We'll pause the video while you work. Here is the net drawing of a square pyramid. As you can see, my base here is drawn in orange, which is a square. I can color that in for you. And then the different sides of the pyramid have been folded down, and those are all triangles. Okay, so there are 4 triangles because there are 4 sides of a square. All right, now we're going to move on to how would you find the area of the base of a square rectangle? So when I look here, my area down here is this square pyramid or square. How would I find the area of that square? Go ahead, talk with your table. How would you find the area of the square? If you said area equals base times height or base times base even, you'd be correct. We're going to write base times base because really in squares, those bases are the same. So area equals 3 times 3. The area of that base is 9 meters squared. Another way we could write that is area equals base squared, because base squared really means base times base, which is what we wrote over there. Okay, how would you find the area of the lateral faces? So now we're looking at the area of those triangles. A different color than white. We've got this front triangle here. How would we find the area of those lateral faces? Talk with your table. What would you do? If you said you'd use the formula area equals base times height divided by 2, you are correct. So we have the base here, which is 3. The height, remember, is the height going from the base up to the tippy point of our triangle, which in this case is 4. divided by 2. So we have area equals 3 times 4, which is 12, divided by 2. Area equals 6. However, that is for one triangle. I have a total of 4 triangles. So really what I would need to do is take my answer and times it by 4. Take my answer, times by 4, times by 4, times by 4. So really my answer here would be 24 meters squared. Would there be a quicker way? Well, why would I divide by 4? Or I'm sorry, divide by 2 and then times by 4. So this step right here, is there a quicker way just to get to 24? So instead of taking 12, dividing it by 2, and then timesing it by 4, couldn't I just do 12 times 2? I could. Okay, so instead of dividing by 2 and then timesing by 4, what I really could do is take my base times height and times it by 2. Cutting something in half and then quadrupling it is the same as just doubling it. The divide by 2 and then times by 4 kind of simplify down. So really I could have done my base, which is 3, times my height, which is 4, times 2. And that would have gotten me right to my answer of 24 meters squared. So make sure you take some notes on this. First, we're going to write that formula. So we have base times base. Remember, that's giving you the area of our square here. So that's the area of our square. Plus 2 base times height, which is going to give you the area of all 4 triangles. We substitute, solve, and label, exactly what we've been doing this entire time. So again, we have our base times base, so 3 times 3, plus our 2 times our base times our height. So we end up getting 9 plus 24. So our surface area is 33 meters squared, making sure we label our final answer. Looking for those big things of, did we write our formula? Did we substitute, solve, and label? So our first example here is this shape over here. We have a 25 by 25 base. And then our height of our triangle here is 32. So we're going to start with writing that formula. Our formula is surface area equals base times base plus 2 base height. We substitute. So our bases are 25, so 25 times 25 plus 2 times 25, and our height we said was 32. Order of operations says we need to do all of our multiplication first. So I've got 25 times 25. We can just type that into our calculator. That's going to give us 625. Plus, we have 2 times 25 times 32. Gives us 1,750. Next, we add those guys together, and we get surface area to equal 2,375. Don't forget your label, feet squared. So with square pyramids, basically you have to write your formula, substitute, solve, and label. Very similar to what we've been doing the last couple sections. Go ahead and you try this one. We'll pause the video while you work. And here's the correct answer for the you. How to do? Did you write your formula? Did you substitute correctly? I used parentheses to show my multiplication this time, mainly because using the dot, I could have mixed up with my decimals. Did you start by solving with your multiplication, then adding them together to get 70.09? And did you label centimeters squared? Go ahead and try this next one. We'll pause the video while you work. And here's the correct answer to this you try. How'd you do? Did you write your formula? Did you substitute? Did you solve correctly? And of course, did you label at the end there? Go ahead and pick one of these square pyramids. Remember that they are a square, so that if this length here is 8 feet, this length is also going to be 8 feet. Same thing for all of those square pyramids. What we know about squares is that if one side is one length, the next is the same. We'll pause the video while you work. And here are the answers to these U-tries. Let's go ahead and move on to what would you do differently for a triangular pyramid? So remember, a triangular pyramid means that you have a triangle here on the bottom, and then they all have triangles going up to the top as well. So instead of your bottom or your base being a square, now it's a triangle. It does say here that all sides of the triangle will be the same. So if this side is 8, this side is 8, that back side is 8 as well. Talk with your table. What do you think you would do differently? We'll pause the video while you talk. Let's start by drawing a net of a triangular pyramid. So in your notebook, please draw a net of a triangular pyramid. Remember that our bottom is a triangle. But then if I look and unfold my sides, those are all triangles as well. So it looks something like this. Because all the sides are the same, my lateral faces, or my pink triangles here, these are all going to be the same as well. However, my inside triangle, which is blue, this one will be different. Okay, it might not necessarily be the same. So let's go ahead and look at an example of these triangles. These ones don't have a super nice formula. What it does have is we have to find the triangle on the bottom, so our base, plus our 3 side triangles. So we can look at those right there. There's 3 side triangles. Kind of like triangular prisms, there isn't a nice formula. So we're going to start here with our bottom triangle. I find the formula for a bottom triangle by doing base times height divided by 2. Again, this is for my pink triangle at the bottom. My base of the bottom triangle, we can see here, is 14 times, now this is where it can get a little bit trickier. The height of that bottom triangle is this line right here. Because if I look on the inside of my triangle, the height is going from the bottom up to the center. And it looks here that that's a 12.1 divided by 2. So the area of my bottom triangle, or my base we call it, is 14 times 12.1 divided by 2, which is going to give me an 84.7. Now I'm going to look at our side triangles. I'm going to start with this front one, okay, because remember that all of them are the same, so really we just take our answer and times it by however many side triangles there are. So my formula for a triangle we know is base times height divided by 2. That hasn't changed. The base of this triangle is 14. However, the height is going from the center of the triangle up to the point, which is 21 divided by 2. So the area of the blue triangle is 14 times 21 divided by 2, 147. However, there are 3 of those triangles. So when I look here, I have this front triangle, I have this side triangle, and then all the way in the back, I have that back triangle. So what I need to do with that answer is times that by 3 because there's 3 side triangles, which will give me 441. 441. Now what I want to do is I want to take my bottom triangle and my 3 sides and add them together, giving me an answer of 525.7 feet squared. So triangular pyramids, just like triangular prisms, don't come with a nice formula because the heights and bases can all be different. So we have to break them down. You're going to go ahead and try your own triangular pyramid now. We'll pause the video while you work. Here's the correct answer to this U-try. How'd you do with this U-try? Did you find the area of the bottom rectangle? Our base is 9 and our height is 7.8. What about the area of our 3 side triangles? The base is 9 and the height is 13. And then did you add them all together and label your final answer? Our main focus will be on square pyramids, but it is important that you can find the area of a triangular pyramid as well.